Hey my friends, my name is Richard Weberg, for those of you who do not know me, and I want to share parts of my journey with you to show you what is possible and to help you build your belief. I want to take you today on a little journey, tell you more about my story, and show you where I got started. Come on guys, let's go. We're in my vehicle now, and where we're going to go is first I want to show you where my retail stores were, because I've told you guys bits and pieces of my story and how I went bankrupt. So we're actually going to head to that store and show you where my old store was and show you how barren that mall is. Right now we're passing, I don't know if you can see out the window, but this is where I walk in the summertime. This is a bike trail that goes all the way up the highway from my house, and this is where I walk. Now we're mall walkers. I walk in the mall with my dad and my son John. But I thought it'd be interesting today to bring you to where I first had my stores, and then I ended up going bankrupt. I've been marketing, most of you know, for about 14 years, a little over that. And I'm actually going to bring you to the house that I got started in. Well, it wasn't a house, it was welfare housing, apartments. I'm also going to bring you there, but first we're going to head to the mall, and I'm going to show you where I have my retail stores. Other than that, gang, we'll see you in the next clip. Like I was saying, you know, in my story, I've written it out many times, sent it in emails. I've done some of it on video and bits and pieces. But, you know, the biggest thing in this economy where I live is everything is dependent upon the mining industry. You see these hills back here. These are actually formed mine dumps. They're not actually hills. We have lots of these around where we live, and this whole area is dependent upon the mining industry. Now, I absolutely love it up here in the summertime, and all of my family is here, and that's one of the reasons I stay here, because, you know, my whole life is centered around my family, because that's what is most important to me. I absolutely love my family. They mean the world to me. So I wanted to stay here, but there wasn't a lot of opportunity. So I was always trying to get ahead, because I wanted the dream. You know, I wanted to be debt-free. I wanted to be able to do things and provide for my family in a better way. And one of the things I could do that was being in business for myself. So that's when I ventured off into, you know, starting my own business, which originally was my retail stores. And before that, I was involved in vending, and I actually used to contract from another company, and I had a bunch of vending machines around this area. But like I was saying, the mines, when the mines go down, this whole area is affected. It's like a trickle-down effect, because everything is based off that mining industry. You know, the next set of businesses are the businesses that supply the mines, and then spin off from that. And you can see how once the mines, if they go down, because they're the biggest employer, then other avenues of business start to get cut all the way down to the retail level then. And then retail businesses suffer. So that's where I'm bringing you right now, is where I had one of my stores. I actually had a second store downtown. I don't know if I'll show you that today, but right now we're going to pull up to our mall, which used to be a flourishing place. And once we get inside, you're going to truly see how barren it is. And I'm going to show you where our store actually was. Be prepared to be dazzled. We're heading into our mall. You're going to see all the crazy activity. Okay, I'm walking through the mall right now. You can see closed store, look over here. This is our mall. They're setting up for a craft fair this weekend, which is one of the only few things that still goes on in this mall. But it is almost entirely empty. This used to be Kmart down here. It used to be the anchor store, and when that closed and 9/11 happened, it pretty much put me out of business. And this is where my store, the Sports Box, used to be. It used to look different, but this used to be a great big opening. And I don't know if you can see, if you come over here, John, so you can record here. I don't know if you can see inside here, but how big our store actually was. But it was over 4,000 square feet. It was really massive for this area. And Johnny, if you can take a shot down this hall here, you can see that this mall is really big, but it is really empty now. We're going to take a walk this way. You can see, I'm going to show you down both these halls, that everything is completely empty. Look. inside. And that's what I wanted to show you today. There's a little bit of activity still left in the center of the mall. If you come with me over here, we kind of take a shot that way. But the entire mall, for the most part, is completely empty. And that's what happens when you have an economy in your area that's dependent upon one thing like the mining industry. When it goes down and the area goes down, pretty much everything down.
We had to set up camp. We were the only ones working. The rest
Officially became mall walkers, but we decided to take a break here. Say hi, Dad.
Hi.
That's my dad. He walks with me and Johnny. Say peace, Johnny. Peace. Well, you can keep telling your story, Dad. What I want to do now is bring you to the other end of the mall, just to show you, what this mall is like now. It's kind of really sad, I grew up here, and when I was a little boy, my mom used to bring me to this mall. It was flourishing. It actually is a huge mall. And I'm going to show you this other anchor store that used to be here once upon a time too. But like I said, it's really sad because there's a lot of memories here, and it's sad that this town isn't as vibrant as it once was. But this is the other anchor store way on the other side of the mall. And I'll show you how big the store is. It was huge. And I don't know if you can see in here too well, but you can see that how big it was. It was a really big store. Now it's completely empty. You can see Johnny, we were all the way down there. You can see how far that was. And you can see they still decorate this for Christmas time. They still have a couple craft shows here, but that's about it. There is no mall to go shopping in anymore, or it's just what it is. So that's what happened, how I went bankrupt, and I truly had a store in this mall, and I just wanted to be real with this video so I could kind of show you, what I've been talking about all these years when I, like I said, emailed you and told you about my life. This is where my store was, one of them, and that's where I'm going to bring you to next. Where we're heading to next is I'm bringing you to the apartment that I ended up having to move my family into after my business went bankrupt, and we closed the store in the mall that I just showed you a couple minutes ago. So we are going to head there right now, and it was actually welfare housing. So when you've heard bits and pieces of my story before, when I said we lived in welfare housing, we did. Section 8. That's where I moved my family into. We were completely broke, bankrupt. The repo man took my cars. I short sold my old house. Used to have 40 acres out in the country, and we moved into a small subsidized apartment housing complex. Well, we're here, folks. This is the housing projects that I moved my family into, and actually straight ahead, that number 510, that was our apartment. And this was our little cul-de-sac. We got to know some of these people really well. I'm not going to go up to the door because people, of course, still live here. But, this really is as real as it gets. I'm showing you where I got my start. Internet marketing was in that apartment. I, had a little area that I worked on my computer, and that's where sometimes, I literally cried, wanted to smash my computer in tiny pieces. I say that a lot in my emails, and it's true. There were nights that I literally cried myself to sleep because I wanted to change our life, after losing everything and, just wanting to make a better life for my family. I couldn't stand it. And my first 2.5 years marketing online, I didn't follow instruction. I didn't build my email list. It wasn't working because I wasn't following, what successful people before me had told me to do. I thought I could do it my own way. And I'm here to tell you today, you can't. You want to really change your life, there's only one way to do it. There's a right way to do internet marketing online, and there's a wrong way. If you keep doing it the wrong way, you're just going to beat your head against the wall. That's where I got started. And now what we're going to do is go back to our house. I want to run through a couple things with you and talk about belief, because what changed for me and got me out of here and got my family out of here was my belief. without your belief, you're going to get nowhere as well. That belief is so important. So let's head back to my house and we're going to run through a couple things together. Well, we're almost to my house, my friends, and one last thing I want to show you here on the way to the house is you can see by some of the houses in the town we live in, I mean, the population of this town is about 600 people, how old this community is. It's over 100 years old, and some of these houses literally have been here that long. They're very small. This was a mining community. There's a few bigger houses in here, but the homes are really small. You know, the good thing about living where we do, and right next to Hibbing, you know, we're part of Hibbing, which that's a little bit bigger area. Not that big, but you know, it has about 16,000 people. The greatest thing about living in this area is the quality of your life. You know, you can see I don't have any traffic in this little small community, and where we went to the mall, there's not a lot of traffic, there's not a lot of stress that way of getting caught in rush hour and all that kind of stuff. And you know, how much it costs to live here, the cost of living is very low. Because, you know, some of these houses, you know, you can buy for $30,000, $25,000. Yeah, they're really old, but then a lot of people fix them up, you know, do other things with them. But this is what kind of community I live in. I wanted to stay close to my family. You know, that was the most important to me. You know, in living the .com lifestyle of freedom. It wasn't having a mansion in a Lamborghini Diablo or whatever, you know, Lamborghini, whatever the car's called. Well, we're back home, and I just want to show you, you know, this is the outside of my house. It's 2-story. It's over 3,000 square feet. This is my garage, one of my garages. It's a 3-stall garage. You know, I don't live in a mansion, but, you know, what you see here is, you know, this was my lifestyle. You know, everybody's lifestyle and what they want is different. And compared to some of the homes I just showed you in a little bit earlier, a lot of people asked them, what was I building here, a mansion? Because some of the homes in this area are so small. And to me, you know, this was just, you know, what I wanted to do. But as the older I get in life, it's not like I want my house any bigger than this, because, you know, of course you got to clean it and take care of it and all that kind of stuff. I want the freedom to be able to go anytime I want, wherever I want. And, you know, to be able to help out other people. That's what's most important to me. A lot of people show you fake pics sometimes of great big mansions, or even real ones, because there are people out there. You know, you can make any amount of money online that your heart desires. It's there and people have done it. But I'm being as real as possible. This is my life. This is my house. You know, it's cold up here in the wintertime, so you're starting to get some snow. But this is where I live, plain and simple. And I'm gonna bring you inside now and welcome you inside the house. Come on in, guys. Welcome to my home, and right here you can see by the door, one thing I want to share with you guys is, you know, we love Christmas trees, we love giving, and my wife does an awesome job decorating Christmas trees, and usually we have several of them. This is the Christmas tree we have in the entryway, and you can see we've had presents underneath this tree actually for a long time. My wife starts Christmas shopping right after Christmas shopping is done. You can see, I want to show you this top of the entryway in here. A lot of this house, me and my dad actually built, and we did almost all the finishing in the house. And, you know, we wanted the outdoor look because that's what I'm all about. And my wife, you know, I love to hunt, love to fish, I love to camp, I love the outdoors. That's where I feel the happiest. And we brought some of the outdoors into our house, as you can tell. You know, we had log siding that we put on. You know, the inner walls on this part of the living room. Most of the outside walls are all tongue and groove. All the ceilings are tongue and groove. And then the inner walls we did in sheetrock to break it up. But we, you know, bought an older home and then remodeled it and added on to it. And, you know, we did all of the finishing work inside the home pretty much. And then this is another tree. This is more like our family tree, and you can see, yeah, we have a ton of presents. It looks like Santa Claus already came. Like I said, my wife loves buying presents and gifts for people, and that's what we do. We end up having a bunch of trees, sometimes 4 or 5 of them. And you can see she turned my treadmill into a staging area. And in all actuality, that's why we became ball walkers, because can't really walk at home, but it's a lot more fun to walk with my son John and my dad. And I love that, and I look forward to that every day. So it's actually fun being a mall walker, because I get to spend time with two people who I love dearly. And that's extremely important to me. It's not so important to me, you know, having a mansion and all that kind of stuff, and, you know, having super fancy cars. I live in a woodsy area. It gets really cold up here. It's not really practical to have a Lamborghini, if you understand. You're not going to be driving around, excuse me, on our salted roads. That just doesn't work. But this is more about me. You know, you can see a glimpse into what I'm like. Like I said, I love to hunt, fish, camp, all that kind of stuff, outdoor stuff. Well, let's go into the kitchen and dining room here. Now, the dining room table's kind of a mess. We're preparing for a big Christmas party here coming up next weekend. And so my wife's cleaning all the house and doing all kinds of different things with it. So everything's kind of disarrayed right now. But this is our other Christmas tree here in the kitchen, part of the kitchen. Like I said, usually we have 4 or 5. Sometimes we put up another tree right here. Sometimes upstairs, got a whole upper level. And pretty much, you know, that's the great thing about internet marketing. Whatever your dream is, whatever you want out of life, you can accomplish that. But there's one thing that's going to be extremely important that I mentioned in another part of this video, is your belief. And that's the last thing I want to cover today, besides showing you a glimpse into my life and showing you where I got started and where my old store was, is I want to talk about belief and what this means to you and how it can help propel your business forward. So we're going to go in the office now. Come on, guys. And by the way, my friends, here's another member of our family. His name is George. Say hi, Georgie. Say hi, Georgie. And he's a George. We love him though. All right, George, let you down. Now what I really want to talk to you guys about is belief, because what brought me from living in welfare housing, you know, having my own home again, adding on to it, paying off almost all my debt, and being able to travel anytime I want. What helped me to get to that point? Because you have to start, everybody starts from zero in internet marketing, trying to build a business online. We all start from zero. And the hardest part is first building that belief so you can get to $0 to $10,000. You know, that you've earned that much online. There are so many people that never get to that point. In fact, around 87% of them never get to that $10,000 mark because their belief is not right. They don't actually believe they can do it. They're hoping they can do it, but they don't actually believe it. So when you have belief in yourself and you have belief that you're actually going to accomplish something, it moves you into action. And you know, having knowledge inside your head is great, but if you don't ever take action and go after what you want, it will never happen. So you have to get the belief right. And here's one thing I always give people as an example is, if you knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that you could make $50,000 monthly for the rest of your life, but all you had to do to get it was A, drive back and forth across the country, the United States, I'll use as an example, 4 times. That's the first thing you had to do to get your $50,000 monthly income. You had to do that. Next, you had to build a doghouse. Okay? You had to build a doghouse. Next, you had to change someone's tire on their vehicle. Next, you had to bake a pie. You have to knit a blanket. Next, you have to build a fence. And what was waiting after you accomplished each one of these things was $50,000 for the rest of your life monthly. So, you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that if you do these things, you will then be paid $50,000 a month for the rest of your life. But here's the trick. You don't have a car, number one. You don't have one. Number two, you have no gas money. So remember, you have to drive a car back and forth across the United States 4 times. You have never used a hammer or saw in your life. You do not know how to build a doghouse. You have never changed a car because in fact you've never owned a car. So you don't have a clue what changing a tire is all about. In fact, now with the pie, you have never baked a pie and you have never even seen one. You've never eaten a pie before in your life. You don't even know what it looks like. Knitting a blanket? Well, you don't know how to sew, you don't know how to knit, you don't know how to crochet, nothing of the sort. You've never even heard of it. Build a fence? Again, you've never used a hammer or saw. You don't know how to use them because you've never built a doghouse, let alone a fence. Okay? See where I'm going with this? Because the question is this now. If you knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that you would get $50,000 monthly for the rest of your life, but all these things I just said to you, you had none of them, none of these skills, you had no money, you had no car, and you had none of these skills, like I said, you never heard of some of this stuff, what would you do? Would you go after that $50,000? Of course you would. Because you are guaranteed that you're going to get $50,000 monthly for the rest of your life. So you would take action. You can bet your bottom that you would beg, borrow, or plead to get the gas money or the car to drive back and forth across the country 4 times. You definitely would. You would figure out how to build a doghouse. You'd watch YouTube videos. You would read magazines or how to build a doghouse book, that you could buy at the local hardware store. You would figure out, you watch a YouTube video, have somebody else who's already done it show you how to do it. You would figure it out. You would learn how to bake a pie. You'd go ask somebody that that loves to bake and you would figure out how to bake a pie. Otherwise, you would watch a YouTube video. You would attend a webinar on it. Something. How to knit a blanket. You'd go take a course on crocheting so that you could knit a blanket. You would learn how to build a fence. Same way you'd learn to build this doghouse. You could go watch YouTube videos, find an expert, find a carpenter. Ask him, how do I build this doghouse? How do I build this fence? Ask an expert, hey, how do I knit a blanket? You would figure it out because you know that you're going to get this $50,000 a month. So nothing would stop you from accomplishing these things. Nothing would. And that's what you have to get inside of yourself when you're trying to build a business online and you have goals and dreams that you want to accomplish, is you have to get inside your head and believe that you can get there and that you will figure it out. So that you will watch YouTube videos how to do things. You will attend webinars to learn how to do things. You will ask experts in email marketing, hey, how do I do this? Can you explain this process to me? You will learn the necessary things that will get you there, because if you do, then whatever amount of money you want to earn in internet marketing can be yours. Because your belief has to be right to get you there. I never made $50,000 a year in internet marketing until I believed I could. I never made $100,000 a year in internet marketing until I believed I could. None of this stuff will happen for you until you get your belief right and you hang around other people, like Facebook groups. You go on webinars. You talk to others, communicate through private messaging or email, to people that that you're on their list, about email marketing, all that kind of stuff, so that you can start to get the knowledge inside your head and take action. Because if you take action, it is better to run 100 miles in the wrong direction than it is to stand completely still and do nothing. Because in doing so, you're gonna learn. You're gonna change your belief because you move forward. That's how you change your belief, is to take action and move from A to B into doing something. So you can't say, well, I don't know how to build my list. I don't know how to build my list. I don't know what to do to get started. Figure it out. It's just like you would do here if you were guaranteed by somebody that, hey man, I'm gonna give you $50,000 a month for the rest of your life if you just do these things. Basically, that's what it is in internet marketing. It is extremely simple to make money online. It'll actually blow your mind how simple it is once you learn, like you did here, this process. Then guess what will come? The money. The money will come because you believe it, my friends. You believe it. And that's what I'm trying to get across across to you here today. Why I took you on that trip with me today, to show you where my retail store was, how I went bankrupt, showed you where I used to live in Section 8 housing. I did that to show you that it can be done and you can do it. That you can do it. I already did it. I'm already doing it because my belief, I changed my belief, and I followed people when they told me what to do, or systems did, or videos did. I still do today. I watch how-to videos all the time. I watch motivational videos because it motivates me to get to my dreams and goals. That's what you have to do so you can get to your dreams and goals. I showed you some of mine when bringing you into my house. My lifestyle is whatever I want to make it. Yours is whatever you want to make it. But you can live free. You see outside this window right here? I want you to take a look outside there. I know it's nighttime, but I can sit here and watch cars go by because I don't have to go to work anymore anytime. Never. I don't ever have to leave here. So when it's 40 below or 50 below like it gets here sometimes, and we have 3 feet of snow, I don't have to go out there. I can go get on a plane and go fly somewhere warm because I chose to learn. I chose to take action and change my belief because I wanted my dreams and goals. And that's what I want to get across to here today. Is that you can do it. You got to believe that you can do it, and you got to get that belief right by taking action, learning. You know, a doctor doesn't become a doctor overnight. They go through years of schooling, and they go through then, residency until they finally can be on their own as a doctor. It's like that with any profession. There's people that may be watching this video and go, you know what? I joined a week ago in something. I didn't make no money yet. Well, how do you learn something in a week? I mean, that's just plain stupidity. That's plain stupidity. It takes time to learn anything. It takes time for you to be able to understand what you're doing. When you start a new job and you get there, you're not like, oh, I know what to do. I'm gonna run over here. Oh, yep, I'm gonna go do this. You don't know what to do. You know why? Number one, you just stepped into that job. You've never been in that job before. You have to learn where everything is. You don't know where to find a pen at. You don't know where to find a tool at. You got to be shown around. Then you have to learn. And over time, you become better and better at your job. And pretty soon one day, you're teaching other people your job. That's exactly what it is with building a business online in internet marketing. We believe in you, my friends, and we can't wait to walk the beaches of the world with you. Have a great day.